じゃあ大丈夫ですかね。そしたら、これからは、サムソンのエヴァンジェリストハンさんからちょっと英語ですけれどもよろしくお願いします。
Hello, my name is DukSu Han from the Samsung HQ from Korea. This session is about native and hybrid applications related material. I'm going to explain the hybrid approach when you want to use native features, even your web applications. There is many ways to do that. Content is following like this. I introduce types of Tizen application and native frameworks explaining just explaining a little bit documentation and the sample application introduction. Okay. Firstly, we can think about there's two type of applications. Firstly, web application and the native applications. But think about this. Is only options to choose for your application? I don't think so. There's another approach, it's hybrid applications. I know you are all interested in the field of web applications focused. I like to introduce hybrid approach, which is helpful for your application. So also hybrid having some approaches like this. Firstly, this is introducing the web control, web view approach. So here you can see in a native applications, inside you can put web view or the web control, which is like a browser. So you can put your HTML5 codes or JavaScript for your as like web application. But in this case, you can your HTML5 or 5 or JavaScript code can call the native applications, the functions. Also, native application can put the JavaScript to the HTML5 JavaScript, the logics. So you can interact with this interaction. Thank you. And I introduced another approach. This approach is not familiar with you, I think, because this is offered the Tizen, maybe uniquely, but maybe the platform can have suggested this kind of approach. But I'd like to introduce you, and I know you are not familiar with this concept, but this is could be very valuable for your application development. This is native application. This is web applications, and it can be interacted with by a message port. This is API, which is provided to your web application from the Tizen as a device API. Also, native application having same message port API that can be connected to each other. So you can send a string, the text or some JSON data to the web application. Also, web application can be sent the data to the native application. Actually, there are two applications which is organized one, maybe the service of the application. So it means you make your application UI side, main side is web applications. You can make service application, which is background application. So you are doing some native features called native functions, or doing something which is getting from the native application. You can get all the data and that functions and data to the web application, you can use it. So this is another approach of the hybrid. So I think this approach also make your web application be powerful when you want to use native functions, native features. Okay, this is a picture of the message port. Same as that. And so when you want, this is a packages. TPK is the package of the native application. WGT is a package of the web applications. But WGT means a widget. The web applications can be having only one web application, or you can put two applications, web application and C++ application, which is mostly the background application. We call it service application, which doesn't have UI. So you can make the one package which actually having two applications, web app and native application, that can be communication each other. Okay. So I just told you about the hybrid approach. So now this is time to introduce what kind of native features is provided from the Tizen platform. It's a framework. It's show you another side of the framework. So I think you know that there's a lot of API support provided from the Tizen platform itself, and you can use any of C or C++ libraries to use and port it up to the Tizen, and you can use it. And also, life cycle is simple, but I like to introduce these two one. Native application is have two types. Actually more types, but I will introduce two types. UI application, service application. UI application, which has a UI, is acting like it's just normal application. But there is another framework, application framework, service application. So when you inherit service applications, make service application, that doesn't need to any of the UI, and is acting like a background application. So you can choose it. And also we are providing application app control. Maybe you are interested in it. App control is that these kind of things like gallery, music player, file manager, call, and email. This and all the many of other app controls provide. App control is already exists in the Tizen platform itself. You just call with 2 or 3 lines of code, and you can provide gallery functions from your applications. It is all these things are built in the application. You just call it to use it. And many of UI controls is provided, and is to implement it if you want. And as for the reference, I think you like to know that the UI structure is like that. We have one frame. Every application's native application should have one frame, and having a form. Form is kind of pagey. So if you want to do multiple page applications, which is having multiple pages, so that you can use many implement multiple forms and making multiple page application. And you can put the controls. Control is UI element kind of. So you can put buttons and labels and lists, and many of UI controls prepared from the Tizen platform, so you can use it. And we also provide a UI builder. It's almost similar as a web application one. So you also create a UI with the UI builder for native application. And scene manage, if you want the multi-page applications, we provide the workflow designer. So this is one page. This is other page. You can translate your page from the first to second page, or back to your previous page. So this is kind of the flow you can design. Is translated to a source code. It means you easily creating multiple page application with just builder, not source code. And we provide UI scalability support like layout. You can create input method like a virtual keypad, also animation functionally, or even the visual element. Visual element is that kind of custom UI element. You can put many 2D or 3D effects on there. And UI effect is supported. And also, even we provide some authoring tool. You can build a tool, make the UI effect when you want to use some special effects like, kind of book effect when you cover go to the next page. There's some 3D effect can be possible with UI effect editors of the UI effect design. And we also the native API provide our UI extensions like vision, the face detections, face tracking, and face recognition, even image recognition and tracking, and also QR code generation. And in a sensor, you can get all the sensor data with very effective way because native API is, at this moment, it have better performance than other one. So you can getting the variable sensors data. So you can imagine that the background application, getting the sensor data or the location data, and you can use from your web application when you use the hybrid approach. And the sensor-based motion like a snap and shaking, and the double tap also provide as an API. So you can catch that all the sensor-based motions. And STT, speech translated from speech to the text. Also text to speech. Text to speech means there is a text. Your application pronounce speak of the reading the text to speech. All right, that's graphics and 2D graphics, bitmaps and text and all the primitives like drawing circles and rectangles. And 3Ds, there's a bit interesting because we are providing OpenGL 1.1 and 2.0 features, as well as convenient the feature like canvas texture. If you're drawing some 2D, the graphics or the loading some 2D bitmap files, you can attach to the 3D models. This is provided as API, so 6 lines is just enough to your putting the canvas as a texture like this. And video texture, even the kind of the movie clip can be attached to the 3D object, and as a texture, like you can imagine that your video can play it on the surface of the 3D object. This is surely all possible just with a pure OpenGL code, but we provide this kind of utility functions, so very easy to implement this kind of feature. And multimedia, we are supporting multimedia APIs. So the Tizen platform providing this. Player is playing video and audio, even the real-time streaming, and the recording and camera features, and decoding image, and playing the audio in low level. So low level processing can be take some the performance sensitive. So you can use this PCM based low level data, like you can change the tone of the voice or change the pitches, and you can doing something with the low level sound data. So with that you can use this audio features to handling that. So shell is we provide a app widget, notification manager, quick pen frame in a native API. So this is quick panel frame, and this is notification area. You can make it in your custom way. So you can design it from your applications, what kind of things you wanted to show in this area. I provide this. I think you are familiar with this. The network socket, HTTP, and Wi-Fi direct, and Bluetooth with this profile, a GAP generic access profile, OPP object, and SPP serial port profile, and HDP is health, special designed for the health device. So you can use these Bluetooth profiles and NFC, the functions. And also telephony and messaging, you can even you can receive SMS data of the user. So kind of this scenario, the user get the message from his friend. Maybe the background application, that application get the SMS message if you have your application having the permission. And also you can send the SMS and MMS and email, and you can handling the IP push. IP push means just a push, the mobile push, the kind of the messenger like messenger service. They can notify your friend log in or send a message. That is a push message. That is IP push. So they provide the push, and the telephony functionally like a call management and network status. And the web is all means I introduced in a previous page. This is application. It called by web control. You can put the web control. Here, this is the web kind of embedded web browser with web control. This is native buttons. The header and text and buttons is native applications feature. And these both two can interactions, communication each other. And also you can manage histories and bookmark and as a default browser. Okay, I explained a little bit. Not all the features explained because there's a really huge APIs is prepared for the native features, but I introduced some basic ones. So if you want to find more, you can find in our help contents. There is a web application document exists. Also, as well as you can find native APIs, native tutorials, native application development documentation is there. So in a SDK, you can find the documentation page. Name is help contents. Okay, so in other hand, you can find a document develop Tizen the org/documentations, UX guide and developer guide on articles. So this menu is Japanese, but still articles is mostly the English. But I hope you getting help from here. There is articles regularly updated for web application and also as well as for native application, even hybrid approach. So you can reference this site and the articles for making your application. And there's also many sample applications, 65 sample applications for native and several sample applications for the web applications. If you want to getting an idea how to implement hybrid app samples, you can using the sample code hybrid web app, the sample code in web application samples. And from the native sample, you can see hybrid service applications, which has no UI. There's no UI, but it's just a background applications. So it produce some of text data like with a timer. So like in a 1 second, maybe they produce kind of 10 text. So when the text is produced, the hybrid web can catch the data and show you from the web application. So this application is very simple. So you can find how to implement the message port. That is, need of just several line of code is quite enough. You need to just know about send the message through the message port, and getting the message from the sending data, which is callback. So this is simple, and you can catch the how to implement this is very in easy way. Okay, I introduced all the native and hybrid feature and approach of the Tizen platform. And if you have any of the questions, please ask me in Japanese. Thank you for the. Yanaga-san will translate it.
Oh, okay. はい、ハンさん、thank you very much.